In the morning, I awoke still anxious about having no spare and a tire with a large gash in the sidewall that I had to continue to use. I expressed my concerns about the narrow canyon road that I'd have to drive by myself while the crew continued on the BDR. Dan suggested that we split the crew and he'd accompany me to a tire repair shop. Since we didn't have a signal for phones, he also suggested that we return to a nearby high place where we could do some research. From there, we learned there were several tire shops in Carson City, which Google Maps plotted at about 22 miles away. So while Steve, Jeff, and Roy would continue on the BDR, Dan and I headed to Carson City. What we did not realize was how much fun the route Google Maps plotted for us would turn out to be. We felt a bit guilty that the rest of the crew was driving mostly pavement in this area, while we were having a great time on this road that surely had not been driven in years.
I don't think a street tire is going to last very long. We've been experiencing.
That's true.
But I'll put any brand of AT tire.
Yeah, it'll just be your spare later, right?
I'm going to replace 2 tires. Then I'll take care of sorting it all out when I get back.
Makes sense.
Boy, it's hard to tell the road here.
Yeah, just watch out for ruts and ditches and stuff. There's a couple on each side of us, here and there.
Pretty sizable town down there.
Yep.
I'm going to shift in low. This is fun.
It doesn't suck, does it?
Suck, it does not.
Are you recording any of this, Mark?
I am recording it. The rest of the crew's probably watching. Why couldn't we have gone?
Yeah, this is not a bad detour for fuel or tires.
We got another tree. Oh, we can make it.
Cool. That rock slide up in front of us. We've only done 6 miles of the 22 miles. But it sure has been fun. And insane, Brett.
Whoa.
You get fun at every one of them with that bad tire.
Yeah, they're hidden in the grass.
I think I'm gonna drop out of for low.
Thinking exactly the same thing. So we got a washout up there, but we found a way around it.
Even before my trip, it was in my plans to replace the tires on the Wrangler upon my return. There was still plenty of tread on them for road use, but tread wear indicators are not suitable for off-road use guidance. Tires need greater tread depth for more demanding pursuits. So I was delighted when Andrew at Discount Tire told me he had 4 KO3s in my tire size and could slip me into the shop within a couple hours. I told him, let's go for it. I can take care of the spare when I return home. Meanwhile, Dan noted a slow leak in one of his tires. Apparently it was damaged during our descent from the campsite. So while my vehicle was worked on, he found a small leak in his sidewall and used glue tread to effect a repair. However, it was still leaking. He figured that he probably should have aired down the tire before applying the glue tread. He tried removing the patch, but that proved impractical. He added more glue and even added a second patch, but the leak persisted. Fortunately, it was so slow that he could air up the tire to higher than normal pressure, and it seemed that it would last for the day. With such a slow leak, Dan chose to run the patch tire on his rig for the time being. We did check with Andrew, but they didn't have his tire size in stock and couldn't have one until next week.
So I've got 4 new KO3 tires and 1 good spare tire, filled in one of the previous KO2s. And I'll change that to KO3 when I get back to Oklahoma City. They only had 4 KO3s.
With my tire problem resolved, Dan and I headed to catch up with the rest of the crew. We deviate from the official BDR route on our way to Bear Valley, but while I'm told that is a great drive, I can't believe it would be any more spectacular than what we drove along Ebbets Pass Scenic Byway. And once we reached the one-way section of highway, we were back on the official BDR route. And while it wasn't dirt, driving curvy mountain roads with a manual transmission vehicle, the play of 2 feet on 3 pedals, the snick of the shifter as you change gears, steering with one hand and shifting with the other, and that sound of a well-tuned exhaust building up at your command, you get into a rhythm and it's magical.
And he's lifting it by the end.
I've cut a tree, and I didn't realise how heavy it was. That sounds stupid, but that is so heavy.
No, Jeff, you're strong too. It's okay.
Tell me if I'm clearing my top.
Yeah, you mean under the door? Yeah, you got miles.
The antenna.
Yeah, antenna's not even close. think leaving them aired up was the right thing to do.
Wow.
Dramatic. That is a beautiful lake.
You know, it's a shame that all this fire occurred, but boy, it really opened up the view, didn't it?
Yeah.
We just turned on 31 Milestone Track after filling up with gas and completing section 3. This is now the beginning of section 4.
Left at the intersection.
Copy that. Kind of down with all the squigglies at the bottom of the hill, or did we pass you?
No, you're still behind us. We're pushing on up the main route.
Okay. As Jeff would say, crikey!
I am crossing the bridge.
I never thought I'd see you guys again. I was just commenting to Mark earlier, this has been a lot of pavement these last 2 sections. There's a lot left. I can't take it easy for people.
It was getting quite late in the day by the time we caught up with the other half of our crew, and then we entered a huge burned area which didn't look very inviting to camp. Indeed, many of the spur roads were blocked off, so we continued to Big Meadow Campground near Hellhole Reservoir to spend the night. The nice thing about that was poopers.
Dan, what in the world are you up to?
Well, I tried to help a buddy of mine, a very close friend of mine. I'm not sure if you know him, but who had a couple tire issues yesterday. And apparently he taunted the tire gods a little too much on this trip. And I caught some of the bowl splash on this one.